I was meant to do some testing at the Drift Fork about 2 weekends ago, but they were full, so I had to wait it out, and then I got an email from Foreign Roaders saying they needed some drivers to fill in for some drift demos. So here we are, about to test the car out. I've done some changes on the car. They're just minor tweaks, so we should be plucking that fourth gear and sending it to the moon. So I've just swapping some tyres over. I actually had the old brand tyres on here, so I've popped the new tyres on by one of my sponsors. Shout out to Boost Army Motorsport. So they do a lot of mechanical work. They can help you set up your car and do wiring, ECU, tuning, anything you need, hit them up. But right now we're just about to head out on track. I've just got to quickly adjust my tyre pressures, because I've never actually used these tyres before, so I kind of want to go out at a safe setting at the moment. So yeah, we'll just go from there and then see what happens. Manfield track day didn't go to plan. Well, actually it did, because that's what a test day is all about. So yes, it went to plan. If you want a gremlin to show, you kind of want it to show on a test day, and on that test day a gremlin did show. We have discovered that it might not be the clutch that's the issue. It could be the release bearing.
Yeah, like it's not releasing off the pressure plate.
So does it, for that to happen, does that mean that like the pressure plate had like expanded over time, or?
Yeah, whereas the clutch wears, fingers come out, so it needs free play to take that up, and it didn't have enough. The distance between the fingers and the bearing needs to increase.
Oh, yep. In a sense, this car like has already done 2 years, and I've looked at the clutch and it is done probably half the life. So I'm on the fence of actually replacing the whole thing since we've got the box out. We've done some calculations on the finger length and the bearing engagement and all of that, and they are way off. So in theory you're meant to have like a 4mm air gap between the release bearing and the clutch fingers, and literally there's like a -1, so it's like touching. And we're gonna take out some shims out of the release bearing to move the bearing back, but then we did further investigation into the clutch, pulled it out anyway, and literally trying to take the floater plates off, and it's so hard to get off, and they're like literally been heated together, like welded itself together in some way. Seeing that now, I'm probably going to make the call and just replacing the whole clutch. It's the gearbox is out, and we'll get another clutch in another couple of days, and you know, it'll be that easy. We are down here for round 2, D1NZ at the Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. We're on the club circuit, which is, if you guys know, you know, the big entry, big reverse entry corner. Just between you and I've never actually drifted this track, ever. I've hosted events here, and that's about it. I've always wanted to drive, but I just can't do it at my own events, and Mad Mike days always clash with other stuff that I've got going on. have given us 3 horsepower again. We kind of just got to play it by ear now and see what happens.
Come on, Zach, you've got this.
As Zach Zaden sits on the line waiting for the second half of his run. So interestingly, Zach's scored a 76. So they did score in his first run. Certainly need to do some homework, Steve, overnight. I have seen the layout, but I just need to double check and compare it to what we're seeing on the screen to know exactly where it is. Here he is in the Drift Antics Motorsport, 2JZ powered S15. Zach Zaden throws it in. And must have a chat to him about the Nemesis number plate. And you on there for him, gets it through the first corner just nicely, nice and wide to the outer zone. Zaden filling that outer zone nicely there as well. So this is a good run for Zach Antics, as he's nicknamed.
We've got some good speed coming through that final section here at Hampton Downs.
Comes through to complete the run. So he bagged a 76 average in his first run, which was good enough for 19th spot. Yeah, great panning shots of Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. Big full pit area as well this weekend. If you are tuned in from around the country, make sure you come along. So Zach Zaden score through 84.7. His average launches him up into 5th spot, pushes Ryan Perry out of the top 5.
Alrighty guys, it is the next day. It was pouring down, so I couldn't really do an outro, but we got P6 yesterday out of 29 drivers or something like that. On my qualifying run, it was such a stitch up, like as I was lining up, so I was like 5th to last to go out. They go by championship points. It started raining right as our run, and I went out there on a dry setup, did my first run, and it was so sketchy, it was not funny. It was like literally ice skating. Second run I came back in, put my wet setup on. But anyway, it is a new day. The sun is out. It's going to be a dry track. So we get a bye run straight into the top 16.
Zach Zaden scrubbing up the tyres in his 2JZ powered S15. Disclosing the horsepower under the bonnet of that one. And Adam Whitehead.
HP. That's a Hewlett Packard. Well, in the PC world we live in. Boom. Drop that mic.
And this Adam Whitehead in his 2JZ powered S14 from Hawke's Bay, not the real Bay though.
Not the real Bay, just the Hawke's Bay. The real Bay has the Bay first in their name. There's so many people in the Hawke's Bay right now that are really upset with you for that. And they should be.
It is what it is. Zach Zaden will lead them out. Adam Whitehead in the chase. He's shown some good form at the moment too, and he's visualising winning. But Zach Zaden, nice initiation. And Whitehead has gone wide. He's lacking in proximity at the moment. Can he close that gap right up on Zach?
Is it lacking proximity or just two completely different lines? As they come through this section here, you can see he's really closed up.
So Adam's done a good job, isn't he? Catching right up on him, and he's going to drop
wheel
a
off
wheel on the very last part of the section.
And the section has finished before those cones there for the Pro Championship in the opposite direction. So there we go, Zach the Smoke Show.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this here. It was actually relatively shallow, and you can see all the tire marks of where everyone else has been running for the most part. Pulling out the outer zone really nicely through there. Zach in the lead position, and Adam Whitehead doing a good job. He's got some good drive coming out of that S14 to close up that gap. The one wheel off in the chase position there for a minor deduction for Whitehead.
So of course just over an hour left on Facebook before we will be moving through to our Sky Sport platform. Adam Whitehead, Zach Zayden. Plan B versus the Drift Antics. It's a pair of Sylvias as they accelerate down the front straight here, round 2 of the Repco D1NZ National Drifting Championship, and it is Whitehead who leads away.
So this is all contact from Zach Zayden on the back of Whitehead. Whitehead puts on a big smoke show through the rest of turn 1 and keeps it in drift.
Now Whitehead does put a wheel off.
Being the lead driver, he
look
does
at the
need to
angle, and the
complete
wheel
the
off
run.
again.
Yeah, he needs to go through and complete it, doesn't he?
Car was still sideways the rest of the way through here. Holds on. That was a really ugly, well, lead and chase. So we'll have a look at it. You and I can talk about where we think apply some fault maybe. We're going to come through into this first turn, and one of the things to look at is, did Zach Zayden cause the contact? Obviously the chase car. Is the other car too wide? We know that there's a bit of contact there, and does that upset the car? So yeah, so there is definitely a straight line.
Yeah, reinitiation from Zach Zayden in the chase.
So 1, maybe 5 wheels off at this point here. Maybe 1, maybe 5 wheels off at this point.
Is that including the steering wheel?
I'm including it. And then he'll come through to finish. So that's the finish of the circuit there. So we've got 1 wheel off twice for our lead driver, a potential straight line for the other one. And Chris Brockenshaw having a wave right there. He's one of the best cameramen in New Zealand, behind Tony Wilson, who's behind Stephen McIver.
So we're looking for a result here. Adam Whitehead is on the left. We have Zach Zayden on the right.